just completed my first sitting of Vipassana, 10-day course in the beautiful forest. The sun is coming up. It's Sunday around 8 a.m. Walking through the forest. So I thought I'd make a little reaction video before I leave. Everyone's packing their stuff and getting ready to go back to their lives. It was so weird getting my belongings back. At the beginning they take your wallet, your keys, your phone, everything. You can't even have books. You can't have paper to write on. So getting my phone back, it was like, what is this? How do I work this? I didn't even know how to work it after 10 days. It took me like a couple minutes. So Vipassana, first time, I'd have to say it was the best thing I've ever done and the hardest, most difficult thing I've ever done. And everyone's gone through really difficult things in their lives, so I feel like it's saying a lot that this is probably the most difficult thing that I've ever done, but equally the most rewarding, and it's just taught me so much about who I am, what's important, and what life is really about. And it's gonna be so strange leaving here, going back to the real world, kind of the fake world now. Yeah. I didn't really plan this video. I don't know what else to say, except I could touch on the techniques that we were taught. So basically, Vipassana was taught by this amazing teacher who's now passed away, Goenka. And he is not religious, it's not sectorial, it's not cult-like, it's basically just following the teachings of Buddha, and which are morality, becoming the master of your own mind, and purifying the mind, so getting rid of all cravings and all aversions. So the first couple days you're practicing Annapurna, which is focusing on your breath, and even that was so difficult, because first of all you take a vow of silence, and there's five prefects, I think they're called, that you take in the very beginning. And so you take the precepts and you surrender yourself to the technique fully, so that you can say that you're only practicing this technique. Like, you can't come and also practice other religions, or not saying this is a religion, but you can't come and say, oh, I have to pray or I have to do this. No, you only practice Vipassana. You can't even fast, you can't bring incense, you can't bring crystals, you can't do other types of meditation. So you surrender yourself fully to this technique to give it a fair try, which makes total sense, because you're giving it your full attention. So the first couple days, I was like, what? Like, because you're sitting, you're meditating, like you're following a strict schedule, living like a nun, living like a monk, relying on the service of others. And you're following this schedule where you're up 4:30 in the morning. You have to be in the meditation hall. 4:30, you're meditating, and then you have breakfast, and you're basically meditating all day with a couple little breaks for food. You don't get dinner. We have tea, where you have tea and like fruit, but after 11:30 you're not eating. So getting used to all that, you're meditating 10 hours, at least 10 hours a day. And you're in complete silence. Oh yeah, that's how I got into this tangent. So that's another vow that you take when you, after the very first meditation, afterwards, you're complete silence. You take the vow, I think it's called vow of Sila. So you can't talk to anyone, you can't touch anyone, you can't really make eye contact. You're just kind of focusing on yourself. So that was a big thing, and it was nice. It was just a relief, because so many times people rely on you to react in a certain way, or you feel obligated to talk to people, and you're always on the outside world, you're never on the inside. So this was a great opportunity to go deep into your mind and focus on the inside for once, which I think that's why for a lot of people it's the hardest and the best thing, because you're just waking up to, whoa, this is really who I truly am. This is my inner self. This is my true self. And it's amazing. And when you discover your true self, there's no problems. Like, everything is, and that was another key concept of the teaching, Anicce, which means change. Everything's always changing, and nothing stays the same. So you just realize that everything is impermanent. So why have craving towards something? Eventually, everyone's going to die. Your inner self might not die, but your bodies will die. Everyone you know will pass away. This tree behind me will fall one day or pass away. Everything is impermanent. So if you remember the concept of Anicce, then you dilute your miseries. And that was his teaching, was our misery is rooted in attachment, craving, being attached to, clinging to something that is impermanent, because obviously if it's going to, like, in theory, you know this, that everything passes away. And then the other one is aversion, like, oh, you feel pain. Nothing lasts forever. The pain's not going to last forever. So this practice was about feeling your body, sensations in your body, and not reacting. Just, he used the word equanimity. So you feel a pain, like an unpleasant sensation in your body, and you will. Like, that was the hardest part. You're sitting, and I think after the 5th day, you're not allowed to change position. So you're sitting there for over an hour at a time, and your legs go numb, there's pains, your back, like, I've never felt such excruciating pain. But you can't move. You're supposed to address the pain with a clear mind, and a equanimous mind, and you don't react. So you just observe, and that's another part, like, teaching you just to be the observer, how nothing, again, your body is just this vessel that you're in. Nothing that happens to the body is permanent. So you're just learning to feel these sensations in your body and not react to them. Just observe them and know that they will pass away. Like, one day or not one day, but in a few moments this will change, or maybe an hour. Like, a couple sittings I had the same pain for like almost the whole hour, and it was like, okay, just address the pain. It's a sensation. Like, even labeling it as pain, it's all just sensations. So knowing that it's temporary. And another big thing that resonated with me of this teaching was learning at the experiential level. So I just realized I keep moving. Hopefully that's not distracting. But anyways, learning at the experiential level. So like before I came here, I would learn about all these meditation techniques and like theories of life, and listen to talks by Eckhart Tolle, or whatever, how you say his last name, Alan Watts, and people like that, like spiritual gurus, teachers, whatever you want to call them. And yeah, it resonates with you, and it's just, you understand, but you're only understanding what they're talking about at a mental, intellectual level. You don't actually experience it unless, like, I guess there are some cases where you can, but not as deeply as this technique allows you to. Like, so, I lost my train of thought. So, it teaches you to feel the sensations on your body. Like, this is the body I'm in. They don't even, like, try to stay away from the terms like mine or I, this is mine, like, because it creates a lot of attachment, and that was another thing that was, that creates misery. So you're experiencing this all on your own. You can't talk to anyone else. You're experiencing your own sensations and knowing that they're impermanent, and it's just mind-blowing. Like, I don't know if that's the best term, but it's just, there's nothing like it. Like, you can't learn about it without experiencing it. This video is getting really long, so I just want to say that everyone should try this. Like, I want to recommend this to everyone that I know. Like, I kept thinking during my meditations, oh, like, I can't wait to tell my mom about this, and like my dad, and all these friends that I kept thinking about, that like they would benefit so much, and like just, but then I came back to the present, which is another thing. This technique makes you become so present, like living moment to moment, everything's changing. And I've never been so present, like, probably in my life, like, successively, for 10 straight days, just so present, just looking at caught myself looking at my hands, or like looking at a little bug and being like, just so in awe of everything, of life, of nature, of, yeah. There was a couple more things I wanted to say, but now I can't think of them, but that's okay. Just, this technique was amazing. And, oh, I remember what I was going to say. The very final day, day 10, we learn about a technique called metta, where, since now you're feeling all these sensations yourself, it's about spreading compassion and serving others, and that being the purpose of life. Spreading love and compassion to everyone, like, so nobody has to suffer and misery, and eradicating misery. It's better lighting. And so metta, at the end of your meditation, the Vipassana meditation, we do a few minutes of metta, where you feel the vibrations in your body, and you feel the love and compassion for others, and you spread it. And I feel like this is so important, and it just can translate to everyday life and change everything. So I like that was included as well. But yeah, it was so hard. Like, the first couple of days I was like, what is this? Like, okay, give it a fair chance. But you're literally, like, it's such a lifestyle change. Just, you're living like a monk or a nun, and relying on others to feed you. Like, yeah, this isn't a paid course. They don't ask for anything. You just, everything that you give is from your own heart, like, to help others, then yeah, they will accept donations and everything. But you come and people feed you and they give you beds, and you're just like, you're relying on the compassion of others. Like, I wouldn't have been here if people didn't donate their time and their money and their resources. So that gets rid of a lot of ego, because if you're here, you're paying for it. You're like, oh, this food, I paid for this food. There's not enough butter on it, or like salt. Butter's a bad example because I'm vegan, but vegan butter. So you feel like, oh, there's more people coming for a walk. So you feel like you're entitled. That's the word, entitled. So that was another thing. Oh, there's some guys checking out the women's trail because we were separated from the men. That's another thing. But now the segregation's over. It was so nice being with a bunch of women and just feeling the feminine energy. So that was my experience. There's so many more things I can say, but I won't because this video is very long. And I recommend looking into Vipassana. I know I'll continue to practice every day. I'm making that intention now, every day, morning and night. So thank you for watching, and may all beings be happy, as Goenka says.